That was a good one.
We're finally into the good liners.
Maybe what's his face is coming back.
Hi folks, welcome back to Heard It on the Axe, coming back with some Melia.
Jim actually spun that one at a dog show once.
Oh
What's that song about?
It was about a breakup.
Being brokenhearted?
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty young when I wrote it, but yeah, it was just about a breakup. I was a little bit dramatic though.
But it amazes me that some people are so good at writing about relationships. I mean, you're so young. How'd you get experience writing about relationships?
I don't know.
Because I've had a lot of lousy relationships, and I still can't write them.
Well, I mean, I listen to, like, a lot of the artists I listen to. I was a big lyric person, so I studied a lot of lyrics, and I was always really good in English and poetry and stuff. So I think just that kind of education kind of influenced me as far as using metaphors. Because obviously, just a bride, like, obviously I wasn't getting married or anything. It was just kind of a metaphor.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I just kind of like to exaggerate things and just make it interesting.
Who were some of your favorite artists?
They're kind of all over. I mean, it depends on what I'm looking for, like what quality. Because I mean, lyrically, Dylan obviously is one of the best. Yeah, absolutely.
Love this girl. Well, I got to tell you something too, Josh. You weren't here last time.
I wasn't.
Melia went to school in some kind of alternate universe. And I'm telling you this.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going to explain in a second. If
like
you
on
shut
Mars?
your stupid mouth. I'm kidding, Josh. You know I love you. Yeah, like on Mars. Because where she went to school, pretty girls got ridiculed. She got ridiculed.
Really?
Yeah, she got bullied.
I was a pretty girl too, and I had it pretty easy.
He was very popular.
I was the
very,
pretty
very
girl.
popular.
I was in the plastics.
Prom queen, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
Yes.
I
Can you believe she
I
got
dated
bullied,
the
though?
quarterback. You got bullied? Did you fight anybody? Was there ever a fight?
No. I think the only fight I got in was with a boy, but that's because he pushed me, so I just,
Well, that's good. I just can't believe that she would get bullied. And it's funny because we had Jasmine Kane on too, and at the same time we had her on, and she said she got bullied too. Obviously for not fitting in, for being a musician and being a music head and listening to Dylan when you were 14 or whatever.
Yeah, like Dylan, Nirvana. Like I said, nobody even knew who Nirvana was.
That's a shocker to me too. That really is such a shocker.
It was like 2 people and they were guys, so it was like...
No, it is weird because like when I went to high school, Nirvana was kind of like, what I mean, like not many people were into it and stuff like that. And now it seems like all that, it's hip to wear a Nirvana shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I see the people that my brother hangs out with, and he's in high school now, and then it's hip to wear the Nirvana and the Pink Floyd and Dylan and Cash and stuff.
But you guys are around the same age, so when you guys went to school, Nirvana wasn't cool.
Not really. I mean,
what was then? Well, we talked about this before.
I don't know. I know a lot of the girls like the Hannah Montana and all those guys.
For real.
Which I was like, I could have vomited, but because I just don't like that style. But
Jeez, how could you?
But I mean, like a lot of them were listening to that, and the guys would listen to a lot of rap. I don't really know any artists because that's how much I did not listen to anything that was popular. But I know they're into all that, and I don't know. I didn't take to it really well. Like I just like lyrics and I like rock and I just kind of went my own way. And surprisingly, a lot of people didn't know Nirvana. A lot of people knew Zeppelin and those bands, but they didn't know like Nirvana or I don't know, or Dylan really. Nobody really knew. Like I think they knew of him, but they didn't really listen to him. Nobody was listening to him.
Right. Yeah, I think he's become a name like Elvis, where you just
who it is.
He's there. That name is there. It's just everybody knows the name, but nobody knows what he does. Yeah. It's funny because even in the musical world, he's kind of that way. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think of the musical world, I kind of think of Dylan floating above everything.
Yeah.
And just like looking down, and honestly.
Yeah, he's just phenomenal. He's an awesome.
Are you privy to the? It's a show we were talking about doing. There's a huge plagiarism lawsuit against him.
Why?
Like huge. When I mean huge.
Like Billy Fusillo, huge.
Are you serious?
$500 million has been invested into this by all sides, by Sony, by Dylan's camp, by the people that are suing him. Joni Mitchell came out and said that Dylan is a plagiarist. He's a phony. He's a fake. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I can't remember the guy's name right now. All my notes are on my iPad, which I don't have with me. I can't remember his name right now. But if they did a who's who of, we did a show on Zeppelin's plagiarism. There's a lot of accounts of Zeppelin's plagiarism, especially on Zeppelin 1 and Zeppelin 2, which I can understand almost in a way because you're a young kid, you know, you're new to this, you know, hey, you know, we're gonna make some money, you know, we gotta get an album out, so what do you do? You get an album out, you know?
Yeah.
Not their whole catalog is affected by this. And some of the monumental things like Kashmir or No Quarter or the Rain Song, which are just brilliant masterpieces, those weren't touched at all.
Right.
Although Stairway to Heaven was included.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But in the Dylan case, at least from the facts that I've seen, everything, if you did a best of Dylan album, all of them are touched.
Wow.
Right. So, I mean, I wouldn't hold anything to it yet, because you know, and I'm not saying one way or the other, but I just stumbled across it recently, and I thought, how bizarre.
Yeah.
But the most bizarre thing is the amount of money. $500 million is a lot of money.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could pay somebody off multiple times just to shut up.
Right. Exactly.
You know? So
oh my gosh.
It's very interesting, but, and I'm with you. I personally, I think the allegations are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think if they were true, they would have come out by now.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that when
That's
you're,
so many years.
and I think that when you're somebody like him too, he doesn't defend himself well. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care.
Right.
You know, he doesn't care what you think. He doesn't even care if you like music or if you like what he's doing. He likes what he's doing, and that's it. So
I think that's cool though.
I do too.
Yeah. So.
I think it's almost a necessity now, and it's funny. You know, going back to what we were talking about kids not listening to music. We talked about this last time you were in. I really I'm putting a lot of hope on you, on Jasmine Kane, on people, on young females that are out there playing right now, because we need a new movement in rock and roll, and I'd like to think that you guys are the underground of what's going to be happening soon, a huge catalyst, because in my opinion, rock and roll is really getting pushed to the side quickly.
I think so too, and it's awesome. You know, it was great to come here too and find out all those other artists too, because you know, I was like, good. Like, I'm glad that females are stepping up and, you know, just taking on rock, because right now it's more of a male genre, and you know, and I'm happy that I'm not the only one that thought, well, this is like weird, you know what I mean? And I didn't do it because of that, but I always just kind of liked rock. But I know when I first started, I got a lot of like scrutiny. Like, I always was, everybody thought I was like the, you know, slutty girlfriend of one of the band.
Oh yeah, one of the band.
They never actually thought I was, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, there's definitely a double standard there. But it was awesome to know that girls are rocking out right now, and I do too. I think music is going to take a turn really soon.
You know, live-wise, I think and I think that girls have more of an advantage, because I think that girls can garner a bigger audience faster, at least for live shows. Mm-hmm. And whether or not, you know, that particular artist can play is a different story. If they can play, you keep the audience. If not, well, it's just a novelty thing. So you guys are all keeping audiences, so you all can play. But I think that it's important right now to realize that mid-level between superstardom and the local bar guys is really filled in with a lot of female artists.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look nationwide, there's hundreds of you guys out there that are really championing the cause, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's cool because a lot of them can actually play. You know what I mean? It's like,
I have yet to see one that can't. I mean, to be honest with you, I've yet to see one that can't. As a matter of fact, it's funny, if you go a step above and now you're in the national level, there's a lot of them that can't play or sing.
That's what I mean. Yeah, a lot of like the people that's why, like, when I see people like Jasmine and all those guys, I'm just like, that's awesome. Like, people are actually playing, because most of them aren't. You know, like, they'll play like a couple chords here and there.
Right.
But you don't see a lot of like lead guitarists. You don't see a lot of bass players that really play.
That can
you
play.
know what I mean? So it's really cool.
And it's funny, if you do see a female musician. Who did we just see? We just seen Joe Cocker had a female bass player. She was phenomenal.
Cool.
But that's where you see it. You're like Tal Wilkenfeld,
the one that plays with Beck.
Plays with Beck, yeah. Rhonda Smith plays with Beck, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't see him, you know, running the show.
Right.
Is it hard to run the show as a girl? Is it hard to get guys to respect you, or?
I mean, like in the beginning it was. I mean, it depends. I mean, it depends on what why they're there, you know? Because some guys, they just think it's hot and they just come because they think it's hot. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right, sure.
It's not like I get scrutiny from them. They just enjoy it. But a lot of guys actually, I've had a lot of guys come up to me and they're like, wow, it's really cool that you can actually play. So, you know, I don't think it hasn't been that difficult, you know, lately. I mean, as far as, I think once I show people what I can do, they kind of back off. But I think before the fact, and if you just see me like in a picture with a guitar, nobody really thinks I'm
Right. Well, then now you're getting a reputation and you're
Right,
doing it. So it's,
right.
you know, it's like Melia's band's the band.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I get a lot of female fans and a lot of guy fans. I get kind of both of them, and I think it's really cool. I've been very lucky because obviously that can vary depending.
Right. Do you find that it alienates female fans? I mean, can you alienate a female fan?
Like they don't want to bring their boyfriend.
Yeah,
their
I mean their
gets
boyfriend or if
jealous.
they're
No.
Don't look at that stinger.
Yeah.
No, I really, that's what I mean. I'm very lucky. I don't, because you know, it can happen. A lot of girls can get funny.
Well, girls are strange, you're saying.
Yeah, they just
Can we put
they
you
can
on
get
the record?
they can
I'm
get
writing it
jealous,
down.
you know.
Yeah, write that
I'm
down.
like a stenographer here.
And you know, it depends on how they take it. If you're like a teeny bopper, they love you. But sometimes if you like, I like to wear different things, and if it's sexy, they won't like it. Usually that's the case. But with me, I know a lot of them really, really dig it, and then a lot of guys like it, you know, and a lot of them do like it because of my guitar playing too. So that's nice because it's good that they like the musicianship too, rather than just, you know, they think I'm cute or whatever.
I think it's harder. I think that it is more difficult for a female like yourself than guys. Guys can throw on a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, and go play a gig. Honestly,
Yeah.
not. Where it's going to cost you a fortune. Your wardrobe has to cost a fortune. Keeping your hair purple has to cost a fortune. I mean, it really does. It's got to cost. Jasmine too. It's got Goldilocks. All you guys have
Yeah.
to spend a fortune on outfits, on everything. I mean, am I right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to cost a lot.
It does. I mean, I enjoy it personally. Like I said, it's kind of like another art for me. Like I like to dress up and wear
Right.
different things and everything. But yeah, it does add up, definitely. And you know, like sometimes once you do something and it becomes your trademark, you can't really
No, exactly.
change
Yeah,
it.
that's
Like
got
the purple hair. Like I first started it just because I felt like it. Like, you know, it wasn't really something that I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, so it's my trademark. It just became my trademark.
Right.
mostly, So.
Well, then it's cool.
Yeah. No, I like it.
I mean, your outfits are cool, all that stuff's cool, but it's still, it costs
expensive.
money.
It is,
costs a lot of
yeah.
money.
I mean, like a lot of the guys. I mean, I don't know. My band though, like a lot of the guys in my band will spend a lot of money on their clothes.
Oh,
but,
do they?
yeah, but I mean, I know a lot of guys that will just wear like what they wear every day on stage, and it's not a big deal. But, I mean, I could do that, but
I have 4,000 black t-shirts, and they're all from Old Navy.
If you ever
Really?
see a picture of Rich playing, you never know what show it's from because he's just wearing a black T-shirt. every
This
time.
is, honestly, God, this is like, even my daughter, when I was getting ready to come here, said, I can't believe you're wearing white. I actually yelled at my son. I told you about my son.
Yeah.
He's a big guy too. He always wears my t-shirts. I actually made him do laundry today because I said I'm out of t-shirts. There's 4,000 black t-shirts in this house, and I have to wear white. So like I could never play in your band. See?
yeah, I guess that's just
Jimmy, on the other hand, has $300 jeans on. Turn
And
around,
he
Jimmy.
always-
No,
Jimmy
they're not
will-
300,
hang on.
are they?
Jimmy will wear $300 jeans and just free T-shirts that he got. Just like wherever he got a free T-shirt, he'll wear that T-shirt. It's true.
Yeah. True
Where'd you
story.
get those, Jimmy Buckle?
Yeah.
Really?
No, touch.
touch.
No,
Oh,
touch.
touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your boyfriend buy him for
I like how she calls him out. Where'd you get those, Jimmy? Buckle?
He knows them.
nice buckle outfit?
I love it.
No, it just looks like those type of jeans. I don't know. See, I don't. I try to find deals though. I'm really good at like shopping with deals. I don't know if it's a female thing or what.
No, it is.
I've always been very good at like
Yeah.
figuring out deals and not just buying the first thing I see.
And that's excellent. Okay,
Yeah.
look, we're going to take a small commercial break. Can you hang out for a little while longer?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got to do an interview with Michael Lang, and then after the interview, will you join us for the rest of the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.